All right, so guys, we'll wait for a few minutes and then we'll get started with the live stream. Um, just wanted to make sure if everyone can see me. Okay, those who can see me, just say hi and type "I see you." Type "I see you" if you everyone can see me and hear me very well. Type "I see you" in the chat. Oh, wonderful, Ahmed. Nice lie. All right, so how's the day? Oh, wonderful, wonderful. How to prepare SOC analyst interview. Ahmed, are you following me on YouTube? On the YouTube, I've shared around 20-25 interviews to prepare for SOC analyst interview. So you can check out my YouTube channel, and over there you will have a playlist, especially for SOC analyst interview. Okay, and that's more than enough. I mean. It covers most of the hands-on tool related questions. So you shouldn't be facing a problem. Uh, you might face a challenge if you haven't worked on those tools. For that, you have to get hands-on. Try to go through some labs and the home lab that I share on the LinkedIn. I also have my own course available, but I personally recommend you to first go through some free one to get the idea and understanding about how what all skills required. So that would be really helpful. First, make sure you are comfortable, and then think about buying any courses. Okay. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Great, great, great. Wow, wonderful. Brilliant, Slav. Congratulations. Great job. So that's pretty good. Wonderful. Are you guys aware what's the topic today? What's the today's topic? What are we going to cover? Just say yes in the chat if you are aware about it. Say yes in the chat if you know what's the agenda for this live stream. Okay. So the agenda for this live stream is I'll tell you about some of the job description, or I'll also cover some of the job description that you want me to look at, and I'll tell you what to prepare on. Okay, I'll tell you all the skills you require to prepare for that job. Okay, so I'll take around uh, 5 to 6 job description, and we'll go one by one in detail, piece by piece. Okay, I already have few job description with me in handy. um, from those positions are published in India and even in United States. So if you have requirements, or if you have certain job description that you have submitted, you can share me the link of that job description, and I'll take a look at it, what exactly that requirement is. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay. You saying there's a very good question from Praveen. I'll publish this question. I completed my graduation recently and preparing for cybersecurity roles. Am I eligible to apply for cybersecurity internship? Yes, you are pretty much eligible for this. Uh, if you have completed your graduation, you can start applying for internship, uh, and you should be getting an internship. It shouldn't be a challenge. But if you're planning to get a job directly, I suggest you apply for a job which are semi security jobs related to system engineer. where you get to learn uh, around 40 to 50% of security elements. So that would be really helpful, and I suggest you doing that. Okay. Um so let's move. Let's go to the agenda. I'll take some job description. I have some job description, few job description from India, posted in India. So I'll take those job description, and I'll post it here. Let me share my screen, guys. Okay. I hope everyone can see my screen. If you can see, just say I see. Okay. Okay. Those who can see the screen, just type I see the screen in the chat. And this is Indeed website, indeed.com. And you can see I have selected a few job position, and we'll go through it and we'll try to understand what all skill required to prepare your resume. Okay. And then you can also plan for the cover letter. Okay. Now let's take a look at this job, the SOC analyst level 1/level 2 job. uh, don't be so concerned about the company. Just look at what all skills are required. Okay. So currently, if you look at it, the company, the job required you to be in this location. So don't worry about the location for now. Just focus on the skills. Okay. And how would you prepare your resume, or what kind of a question you might come across in the interview? So that's what we are going to talk about. Okay. It's a rotational shift, so most likely whenever the job description says it's a rotational shift, it's most likely it's a SOC position, security operation position itself. So there's no doubt about it. They require an experience level of 2 to 6. So I have hired many SOC analysts for my earlier organization, but usually we tend to write 2 to 6 to make our life easier. But sometime if we get the candidate who has uh, not really a precise SOC analyst experience, but even a sort of technical experience with security added to it, we still take it. So it's always good to apply for such role if you have at least 1 or 2 years of IT experience. It doesn't matter if you have the security or SOC analyst, specialized experience or not. Let's look at the job description, the requirement. Okay, so let me break it this way. We'll go piece by piece and understand if we have those skills with us. I mean, what all takes to prepare for this job. Okay, so look at this. The first thing that we have is the job requirement. Okay, so you can see, yeah, so you can see we have this one, right? Uh, the first thing that it says is the sim tool experience. Let me make it red. Sim tool experience with McAfee or logarithm. Now this could become a challenge for most of us who haven't worked with any of these tools. So what usually happen is the interviewer tend to ask more specific question related to sim tool as well. You can't really take it ahead by saying, okay, you have worked with Splunk, so you can even handle this, because every sim tool is different. The jargons, the tool name is used by every tool is different. Splunk has different notable as the observable name. Some uses offense. So these jargon changes. So you have to be familiar with those keywords. That's very, very important. Okay. Now, next thing is the understanding of log format. You should be familiar with what is this log, the HTTP log, DB logs, and how to gather forensics for this information. So this is where your IT technical skills, the basic skills, becomes very very important. So what is important is you to have basic knowledge and understanding about those skills into the in the environment. Next is knowledge with the reverse engineering tools like Wireshark. Of course, uh, I, I I recently, I think around, it's being around uh, 10-15 minutes, I recently published a Wireshark video as well. So those who are interested to learn and prepare for Wireshark, please check it out. It's in my playlist as well. So I'm preparing a playlist for Wireshark for network analysis, security analysis, and malware analysis as well. So there will be in-depth Wireshark, forensics that you get to work with. Knowledge of security devices such as IDS, IPS. You probably won't get a chance to work with the open source IPS IDS. It's most likely the EDR solution like Windows Defender and Windows Defender for endpoint or firewalls. But it won't be more of administration job that you have to create security rules and everything. It's mostly related to logs. Okay, so you just have to be aware about what's the log format. So if just to give you an example, if you look at Palo Alto firewalls, there are the categories of logs for Palo Alto. There's a traffic log, that's a threat log. Then there's an VPN logs as well. So depending on that, you should be aware about categories of logs. Similar thing applicable for checkpoint as well. So you should be familiar for about the types of log format for from different firewalls. Okay, so that's the one thing. You should be familiar with logarithm. Even if you haven't worked with it, I suggest you go through it once, and you will get the understanding about what the logarithm looks like. I suggest you go through their admin guide. This will help you to understand how the logarithm tool really works. When you go, if let's say if your resume gets selected, okay, and you are interviewing for this position, in those situation, if you haven't worked with it, just be very honest and tell them that I haven't worked with it. Or maybe if you have worked with Splunk, just tell him that I just worked with Splunk. I don't have a lot of experience working with logarithm, but I have learned on my personal capacity. I have learned it through different keywords, admin guide, and everything. So tell them that how curious and the amount of energy you put in to explore this tool. Okay, so that's very important. This is all generic thing. So if you just, the final takeaway is, if you want to apply for this position, and if you are if you are completely fresher, I suggest not to expect. I can't say that don't apply, but if you are applying for this job, then make sure that you be ready mentally, that you they might ask you about some relevant or some IT or security experience. So if you have 1 year of experience there, most likely your resume will be selected. But for that to work, your resume should have enough keywords. So before applying for this job, try to add more keywords on your resume, relevant keywords, and not just blindly add it, but make sure you prepare yourself about it. Okay, so second thing is, just learn from the logarithm admin guide, learn about different firewall log format, learn about different database log format as well for DB SQL logs, IIS Windows IIS server logs as well. So that's very important. You should have a story. Okay, the next question that they definitely interviewer will definitely ask about is, tell me about any incident you have experienced and how did you mitigate it. Okay, so that's gonna be very very important, and you should be prepared for this. Okay, you should be having a story. If you are completely fresher and you still want to apply, and you applied and got selected as well for, I mean, got selected for the interview as well, then you should be prepared for the story, definitely. Okay, and you should prepare for a story in such a way that you I learn about different scenarios like DDoS attack, what to do in DDoS attack, what kind of rules are required to detect DDoS attack, what is IPS rules, IDS rules, how they are different. You should be aware about how to onboard different data from different source type format as well. Okay, so this is about this job description. Let's move to the next job description. I'll take one more. Okay, so let me first clear the screen. Okay, there's one more job, and that's from Cyprus. And look at the job description one. It's a managed services company. Remember, guys. First of all, was that clear for everyone? Anybody has got any question about the job? Do let me know in the comment section. If you're clear, just say I'm clear. Say I'm clear in the chat if you are clear with the last job opportunity. Say clear in the chat. I'm clear. You get the idea. If you have any question, do let me know in the chat. All right. So next, we'll go to the next job description. This is the managed services MSSP job description. Remember one thing, the most, if you're planning to get into cybersecurity, MSSP or managed security service company or consulting company is the one you should keep your eye on. Okay, because they have most of the security job. Okay, and what's really important is uh, for them what is very important is you should have good experience, you should have hands-on experience. uh, for direct company, actual organization, the end client, they might adjust somewhere, manage somewhere, but managed services provider MSSP drill a lot. Okay, so professionals who are going to interview from the MSSP are very tough. That's based on my experience. I hired many SOC analysts, and I was a part of MSSP as well. So I've done it myself. It's all depends on the situation, guys. That's kind of deliverability we have to take it ahead, because we are, when we work in the MSSP, we are accountable for the client, and we can't really for the client, it's everything matters, right? So, if you look at the responsibility, you should be aware about threat hunting. So, most likely, it's a SOC analyst tier 2 or tier 3 role. You have to work in triage activity for endpoint, server, network infrastructure, performing threat hunting. It's most likely proactive threat hunting, and understanding about MITRE attack framework, mapping client use cases to the tactics and techniques. So, this could be very interesting, guys. I mean, this is more when we someone talking about mapping the techniques uh, to the client requirement. It's most likely they have an EDR tool like CrowdStrike, Sentinel-1, or Windows Defender, and they want to map certain indicator of attacks, certain techniques to on the EDR tool itself. So that become very important. I suggest you get familiar with MITRE attack. And also, I have made a dedicated video on MITRE attack as well. So go on my channel, and you will find a very in-depth video on MITRE attack. So it might happen that there are like hundreds, probably more than hundreds. I mean, I think 500 techniques available, but you can't really remember all of them. But try to remember at least the tactics, what has been mentioned on the top. So what is there on the top, these are all tactics. What is there underneath, these are all techniques. Each techniques can have multiple sub techniques. You can see this technique is having sub techniques three sub techniques. And under the technique, we have procedures. Procedures are the step-by-step process executed by the attacker. Okay, next, you should be aware about the run books. It's like a playbook. So incident response. So if something happened, there should be a step-by-step procedure about what to do next. Okay. So this is more like an incident analyst, incident controller, scope. And once the incident is has been occurred, you mitigated it and resolved the network, then you have to work on uh, you know root cause analysis about incident report. What happened? It, what was the IOCs observed? What was the overall impact? What was the learning and everything? Okay, so and you can see the tool. Yeah. So as I said earlier, when I say, you remember I told you about the mapping of MITRE attack, right? So this is what you should be familiar with: Sentinel-1, CrowdStrike, Defender, right? You might wonder, why would one company has got three ADR tool, right? That's crazy, right? It's not, basically. When we are talking from the MSSP point of view, they have to serve multiple customers, and any customers can have a multiple customer can have a variety of EDR tools. That's the reason you should be familiar with multiple EDR tool. Even if you're not, try to get understanding of any one tool. Okay, and you might wonder how would we get that and everything. There is a solution. If you're following me on playlist, I've shown you how to get the trial for these accounts, and then you can get your hands dirty with it. Okay, SIM platform, Splunk, Elastic, IBM QRadar, Chronicle. I don't think anything is being left, right? So at least get familiar with one or two. They are not going to ask question on almost everyone. That's practically difficult. So that's very important. Next, security certification. You should have at least one certification. I personally recommend go for Security Plus. It's been updated, but I still recommend you doing that. So go for Security Plus. CH, I personally don't recommend a lot because it's more focused on the attacks, you know, skill injection and everything, web application related attacks, pen testing, some techniques, tricks, and everything. I personally recommend you go for Security Plus. It lacks some hands-on exercise, but you at least have an idea about the scope of cybersecurity. You understand what all things are there in cybersecurity as a whole, right? In the organization and the environment as well. So, all right. So, this is all about job description. The takeaway for this role is, you should have some genuine experience. At least I would recommend 1 year of experience before applying for this. Make sure you have your hands dirty with any one of the EDR tool, any one of the SIM tool, and you should have Security Plus certification. That's why Security Plus is very, very important. Okay. So, all right. So this is all. These are the two job description I wanted to cover today. Let me know if you have any question, or if you're good, then say I'm clear in the chat. And if you have any question, I'll be available for 2 more minutes. And if not, then we can wrap up. All right. So then I'm open for any questions now. Anybody has got any question about this or role or career, anything? Just type on the chat. All good? All right then. So in case you still have any question, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn account anytime. I'll be there and I'll try to help you out. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll catch you very soon. Till then, keep learning. Bye bye.